Welcome to the first ever Conversations with Kelly. So this is a segment that I'm going to do every month. So it's the OGs on the CK. I'm just going to bring in leaders that have worked here forever, right? And then we're going to talk about all of the stuff they've seen at St. John's with all the changes. So this is obviously Mike Weber. For those that don't know Mike, tell us a little bit about how long you've been with St. John's and what brought you here originally.
I've been here just over 29 years in past October, and I was living in Missoula. My wife that summer had gotten a job at School District 2, moved back, and I had, like every other weekend, I had a 3-day weekend, and I'd come back look for jobs. And it took me 3 months or so to find a job. And the hospitals had hiring freezes on at that time. And I did not know anything about St. John's. I had a friend who worked here that went to nursing school, who worked in Garden Court. I think it was called something else at that time. And would always tell me these less than flattering stories about taking care of people that had cognitive impairment. So I was didn't have a good impression about it. And this is before the days where you're like, oh, I'm going to do research about St. John's because they're going to ask me, tell me what you know about our company.
Did they have the internet back then, Mike?
It was just being invented.
Oh my goodness.
Or just started.
Like what year was that?
96.
96.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so I was just checking the want ads, and there was a job, evening shift nurse. And I applied for 2 other jobs, interviewed 3 people, 3 different places in one day, and I got 3 job offers the next day. This is after 3 months of looking. And St. John's just happened to call first. That's the only reason I'm here. It's not because I had this vision of St. John's and I finally get to work here. So,
So we were just first.
We were just first.
Did you start off in management? Were you always in management?
No, I started off evening shift charge nurse, working between, they used to call it Charlotte Court North and South, which turned into Unity Place and Heritage. Yeah. So I worked between those 2 as an evening shift charge nurse. That's how and honestly, when I first landed and I had 5 days of orientation on evening shift and was on my own, I was scared to death being a long-term care nurse. It was so different from acute care, the amount of responsibility, and it's just the different things. It's like I'm in charge of 48 people and 6 CNAs. So I had a lot of hospital experience, but it's just something about long-term care that's really kind of jolting. It was just really different.
Yeah.
I'll just kind of go a little bit about my history.
Yeah.
Just because I think it's a little interesting, because it'll lead into what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
So when after evening shift, after about a year, I went to day shift. Charge nurse between the 2 wings, and then they started. St. John's partnered with what was called Riverstone Health.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called now.
Yeah.
Anyway, we partnered with them to do home health at St. John's. So they asked me if I wanted to be a home health nurse. So I would see patients at Chapel Court and Mission Ridge, and I'd be working the floor as a charge nurse, and I'd have to tell everybody, hey, I'm going to be gone for a while doing a dressing change up in Chapel Court, and then later I have to go see this lady at Mission Ridge. So we did home health for a couple of years, and I remember bumping into Brooke and meeting Libby.
Yeah.
At that time.
Who were not employees.
Who were not employees at that time. And then I did that for a while, and then someone suggested that I should apply for the CNA instructor. It's back in 1998-ish. And then I had an interview for that, and I thought, no, I really love being a long-term care nurse. And so I called up Sylvia, and I said, Sylvia, I changed my mind. And then I get a call from David, and David says, Mike, we won't call it an interview. Why don't you just come in? Let's have a conversation. Anyway, so I came in, and then I was a CNA instructor and education director for a couple years. And then I got talked into becoming into an assistant director of nursing, and I co-shared that with someone else who was also working part-time management at Vista. So I did that for a while till they got rid of that position, and I became just a nurse manager of 48-bed Unity place. I had to name it. We had to name it, and then so I was in nursing administration for 20 years. Yeah, so that's kind of my journey, and then I ended up once TRC came on board, ended up being a manager of Garden Court and Unity Place both.
And then obviously we've closed all those areas.
Yeah.
And so since then, that's kind of when you got into teaching with the CNA class, correct?
Yeah, so Kelly got me in a weak moment and said, how would you like to teach at the Career Center? I said, sure.
Yep.
So I teach every day there, first thing in the morning, and I've been doing that for 8 years. So that's, and those high school students do clinicals on the weekends.
8 years already have
this
gone
is
by.
year
That's
8.
Crazy.
And a lot of those students ended up, working here. A lot of them became nurse apprenticeship program students. A lot of them moved on to be nurses. What else do I do? Oh, and then Kelly also.
Another weak moment.
This is actually, I was in nursing administration, and it's like, it's time to move on. And she goes, hey, we're looking for someone to teach at Miles City nursing program. And before she could finish a sentence, I said, yes.
Yes.
So anyway, I teach there, this is year 6. So we have nursing students on campus, all school year, and they work with me as a clinical instructor.
Yeah.
So that's my journey. Okay?
So you're like the St. John's United educator.
Yeah, kind of by accident. I didn't want to, but they talked me into it.
What makes you, so you've been here how long? How many years?
29 years.
29 years. What makes you stay here?
I guess what really makes me stay here is a couple things. I really like growing new people. I've had a lot of nurses that were new grads and over the years, and getting to work with them as their manager and teaching them the ropes and seeing them blossom, seeing them, some of them move on, a lot of CNAs the same way. So you grow them, not to keep them. And so that's been really satisfying. Also been really satisfying is the journeys you take with families. And sometimes the easiest part is taking care of the resident. The most challenging part is is going on the journey with these families. And as their loved ones change level of care, as they move through their life journey, going along with that family and helping that family, and so that those have been some pretty special moments. The impact you can have on people, families, and employees. Yeah.
Awesome. What kind of advice would you give if your younger self?
I would say not to take, I guess you learn early on, not maybe to take so many bullets for nursing administration. I remember, just like having young kids. It was a Saturday. When you have young kids, your life is consumed. As a nursing administration, Sylvia called me up and said, Mike, we're a little short-staffed. This is a Saturday evening. And we had made actual plans as a family to have some neighbors over. you know, I was going to make spaghetti. It was a big deal. And I said, Sylvia, I said, I got plans. And Sylvia goes, oh, well, don't bother showing up to work Monday morning if you don't come in now. So that was kind of my indication that, oh, okay, you got to take a bullet for St. John's and nursing administration. So I think maybe not taking work home with me, not mentally taking work home with you. Sometimes you spend too much time in your head. So just chilling a little bit more, and that took a while to learn that. I mean, there was a lot of great moments being in nursing administration, a lot of great teams I worked with, and I had honor working with Sylvia and Libby and wonderful nurses, and I really grew a lot as a nurse and a human being, you know, being part of that. So those were pretty enriching experiences.
Yeah. Anybody coming into St. John's as a new leader, what kind of advice do you have for them?
I'd say the biggest advice is you really need to kind of be in constant contact with your employees, and how are you going to make that contact? How are you going to get face to face, have those face to face conversations, and be talking to people, getting their input all the time. And it was challenging at one time. You know, between two units, I had about 50 employees. I remember, like, I had this nurse that was in her 70s, and she would never read her emails. And she, no matter how I tried, she wasn't about to. So I would just make, okay. And I remember, people would tell me, you need to discipline that nurse, and you need to make sure she gets on email. She needs, and I said, okay, sure. And I would just go out of my way, like, okay, I'm going to make some time to adjust for this person who's not technologically savvy. And, so having these one-on-one conversations, whether it's coming in, meeting with night shift or, or just, I think I got a lot more done having face-to-face conversations. So try to communicate in multiple ways. Emails are the least effective. You think you're like, I sent an email out, that doesn't work. You gotta talk to people. I would do weekly newsletters and roundups, and try to meet with all my staff as much as possible. I think, just being vulnerable. I think just being really vulnerable and being okay with not having the answers is also really essential. Being honest and vulnerable, and just jumping in and helping when everybody is feeling down or short-staffed. Just be, lead by example. That's also important. Feeding people and helping get people up and doing vital signs for your staff or whatever it is. You all have different roles. Just being with them when they're struggling.
Excellent. So I think people refer to you as the bird guy or the bird man occasionally. What's that about?
I'm not sure. So no, I just So very early on we adopted the Eden alternative, and so we had all these committees. I just happened to be put on the bird committee, and we would adopt parrots and parakeets and cockatiels. We have them, and I honestly hate indoor birds. I really do, and I just but
because you think they should be free, or
I think they should be free.
Gotcha.
Yes,
Okay.
It's really hard to see a caged bird, and they're messy and all that. So, any birds outdoors, I love. Bird watching. That's kind of my hobby, passion type of thing.
And painting.
Painting, yes.
Paintings. You got lots of good hobbies. Okay, what's next for Mike Weber? Are you pretty happy with what you're doing?
I think I'm content to teach CNAs here at the Career Center, nursing students, med aid students.
You've seen a lot of change at St. John's. So we've seen, wings 5 and 6 and 7 and 4 all morph, and some of them went away. And what do you think about all the changes that are happening now?
So I think I know just enough to be dangerous about the changes, where I really, can't speak to them enough to where I don't have enough knowledge. I know this is a tough business. I even talk about this about CNA students that, like if you wanted to open your own nursing home and take care of people that didn't have money, it's a terrible business plan. So I know that we need to have revenue in order to keep the business model in place, and so having a lack of the big picture. So I know we need revenue, and to help those that are in need. When our private pay people run out of money, we don't kick them out. I think that's important. I do like the model of Chapel Court, where we have people that don't have the income can still be housed. So I think we just kind of keep our eye on that mission of helping people in need, and I think still important to the legacy of St. John's.
Yeah, awesome. Did I ask all the questions? Did I miss any?
Let me see if you messed up here, Kelly.
There was an achievement one I forgot. Your personal achievement. What's a personal achievement that you're most proud of?
Let's see. My only let's see. I got what's those cards you send out every month?
The Pride cards.
I got a Pride card for showing up on my birthday.
What?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a pretty big achievement.
I know. So,
not everybody does that.
No. As far as big achievements, there's no singular thing at St. John's that I think this, looking back, I think, oh, what's your legacy? Helping people, growing people, helping families, helping residents. I mean, those are all things that at the end of the day, it really fills your heart. So my heart has been filled many times by the successes of, the nurses, the CNAs I worked with, by the students that I continue to work with, seeing people grow, bringing families that were really difficult at the beginning, and then 3-4 years later, their loved one is on comfort care, and they're finally, accepting that, and all those things fill your heart.
Yeah.
And so you just have to,
Yeah. Excellent. Okay.
all the little things.
I think we're done. I think we did good.
Yay!
Yay!
First one.
First one. Yay!